Well, good morning. Today we're going to cut this air layering off. Hopefully it's there, but even if it isn't, I'm in a hurry. Well, I got to hurry up and get some of this done so that I could move on, right? But by looking at this, it's been 9 months when I redid it. So I started this thing in 7/29/22, and we're already in 24. So it's been a while. I think the first time it goofed a little bit, and I think that's what happened. But anyway, today we're going to take this off. So what we're looking at is the backside of this boxwood, and I go ahead and turn it. Well, this might be the backside. Anyway, this is the other side. And well, what's going to determine the front is after I take this part off, and hopefully it has taken, but even if it hasn't, this main part, well, the front will be dependent on how we treat our apex and other factors. But anyway, we're going to do this fairly fast because I think you've seen a whole bunch of my boxwoods. Notice that I do have a lot of boxwoods, right? I've inherited some, and well, inherited from my landscape days, and then my friend Fred brought a bunch over, and then I had a bunch in the ground and things like that. But I think one of the things that is not covered is there's not a whole lot of stuff on boxwoods because, well, until you get a hang of it, it's not an easy subject. They tend to be brittle, especially those of you who like to wire. Okay, I got it cut off, and let's see how we did. Oh, decent amount of roots, but this small amount of root will not support all this. So we're going to have to thin this out, right? But we don't want to chop it up because it has a nice form. So I'm going to be taking off most of the green foliage so we could cut down on the transpirational loss and then make it in balance with what we have down here. Okay, now I'll do that and then get back to you. So what we're just trying to do is get rid of the green foliage. That's the part that transpires. And as it tries to grow, it needs more water, and there's not that much root, so we have to keep this in balance. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking off as much of the green leaves without ruining or changing the shape. This is not restyling. This is just thinning out the top to accommodate the small amount of root. So, okay, so you don't need to watch me do the whole thing, so I'll go ahead and get it done and put it in a container. I think this will be able to support this much foliage. So, and also when I plant this, I'm going to plant it deep for stability. So the roof layer is going to be here, but it's going to be planted deep initially, and then in the another go around, we'll start to expose this part here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, is to go get this, plant it. Okay, now this is what we have left. And we should start our training process. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and spin this around so you can see. I think this is probably going to be the front. I think the apex is going to determine. But you see this concave, we try to put the concave forward, right? So I was not sure about the apex when I cut this off. Sometimes you end up damaging this, so I was saving this as my secondary, but I think this is not damaged, so I'm going to go with this as the apex, somehow going back up in the future. So let me go ahead and study this carefully and then start the design process. Okay, I'm going to call this my tentative front and then mark it. You should mark it because a lot of times when you're working on it and you spin things around, you get confused and you end up cutting off the wrong thing. So for this project right now, we're going to call this side our tentative front. And most likely you'll stay like this for a number of years until some features come along and want to change your idea. One thing I see is this branch here. This thing, if this is the front, this big branch is coming so strong towards you, I think it needs to be removed. So I'll go ahead and do that. See, now you can see the line much better, right? And then we'll save this. Now we're looking in here. We got a nice strong branch on this side, and then this is on the inside curve. Well, this is, And these are all the things that should go through your mind when you're in this styling process. I'm tempted to cut it off, but to play safe, I'm going to reduce this side by at least 50%, so it becomes a secondary, and then this is still going to be our main side here. And this one needs work also because it's got too many lines in here. So let me go ahead and take this down and then do something with this and then get back to you. Okay, you can see what I've done. I took off a bunch of stuff here, and then I still think this should go, but I'm going to at least wait. And then I think I'm going to take this thing so it becomes more of a side branch. Well, I was saving this in case this didn't work out. I was going to go up this way. And it could work, but it seems like this is a kind of a general curve, and then it's too abrupt. So I'm going to make sure that this becomes a side branch, and we're going to rework this so that the apex will go up in the next year or two up here and maybe go in that direction. Okay, that kind of took care of that. I also want to make it so that these get short and then it's tighter in here. And same thing here. So now I'll go ahead and these are not necessary, but it looks kind of out of balance, so I'm just going to thin these out. Well, I guess I should have started the camera sooner, but this used to be really bushy here, right? Well, what I'm trying to do is to get rid of these that's going up and save the branches going fairly down, right? That way you could avoid the watering process. So that's what I'm doing now. I want this to be dipping down, not going up, because logically speaking, these first branches are the oldest, heaviest, longest, so it should start to dip down. And so if you do this in this early stage, you don't have to wire. Well, wiring boxwood is something difficult because they tend to be brittle and stiff, and if you force it, it goes snap. Then you have to say, oh no! I think I'm gonna have to take a fairly drastic measure. That made that plain, right? Oh yeah, see? I might even take it off deeper, but I think for now it accomplishes what I was trying to do. So I'm gonna just kind of let it go at that, and then same thing with these. So it's flat. This is the next plane here on the back branch. It looks like there's a big one here that might get removed. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna miss that one. Actually, you know, this is gonna require a few more years anyway, so I think I should get gutsy and remove that. Then we have distinct plane here and here. Remember that on Boxwood come spring, this thing will spring right back and be nice and bushy again. So now I think we could see that this is on the same branch, but this one I want to higher and this is lower, and this one here, now that it's been exposed, let's go gutsy and move that, and then we'll let it fill back in. Okay, this is what we have today. So a lot of this was not horticulturally necessary. It's more for aesthetics to balance out the looks of this. Okay, I fed it with my time-release fertilizer. And I made the statement before, there's no such thing as a bonsai fertilizer. Bonsai is nothing but a potted plant and with a distinct shape. So just treat it as a potted plant. And the best person to help you is your local nursery, not online, because it depends on where you are and your growing conditions. So I was thinking, what if we took this thing off or cut it very short, all these on this side, and make it into a windswept? Kind of does that naturally right now, right? But windswept is kind of a matter of taste. I'm pretty sure the people in Florida are not really interested in windswept type trees, right? People in California, we tend to associate windswept with Monterey. So that might work, but I think I'm gonna stay with my original plan, going up like this and create a new apex up here. So anyway, like I was saying, this is another 2 to 4 years, maybe even 5, to make it looking like a great bonsai. And that's what we're trying to go for. Not just mediocre, but great bonsai. And great bonsai takes time. Okay, here's the air layered top piece. Now, review. I did bury it deep for stability. The stick will keep it from moving. And then the main thing you're gonna have to do is find a spot where these will not get bumped. It's going to take a good half a year or longer for that root to get well established, right? So put it in a well-protected area from bumping and excessive sunlight. This is more like a recovering, or it's like a hardwood cutting, because it has the roots but not enough to support the whole top. So anyway, that's where this is going to go. So anyway, hopefully you're getting something out of these little chapters. This has been the Boxwood that started as a air layering over 2 years ago, but there was a glitch. So typically these take about a year and a couple months, but this one's still not complete. It needs to get well established, and next go around we'll take the top layer of soil off, and then we'll get to the root flare. Okay, so this is Hero saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter.